From Public Radio International, this is The World. A co-production of the BBC World Service, PRI, and WGBH Boston. It's Wednesday, June 30th. I'm David Barron. The alleged Russian spy ring uncovered in the U.S. doesn't seem to be hurting U.S.-Russian relations. We'll find out why. Plus, what would a supposed spy want in Cambridge, Massachusetts?
MIT is just a stone's throw. Laboratories are just a stone's throw from MIT. What else can I say? It would be a dream for a Russian spy to come to Cambridge.
And later, the music in Plato's words and songs about leaving Africa. Now, this news.
BBC News with Ian Purden. After months of negotiations, European Union national governments and the Parliament in Brussels have agreed new rules on the way bonuses are awarded in the banking industry. Ben Shaw reports.
The huge bonuses paid to some bankers have been the cause of immense controversy since the financial crisis of 2008. The European Parliament has now agreed a text for a law which would prevent such exceptional pension arrangements. It will also limit the amount of money a banker can receive in cash up front to 30% of the total bonus. The rest of the payments would be delayed. The politicians behind the law say the intention is to make bankers think twice before taking the kind of risks that almost destroyed many Western economies.
The United States Senate has confirmed General David Petraeus as the new commander of US and NATO forces in Afghanistan. General Petraeus takes over from General Stanley McChrystal, who was dismissed by President Obama for making disparaging remarks about his administration. Paul Adams reports.
This confirmation was never in doubt. The Senate vote 99-0, a measure of the enormously high regard in which David Petraeus is held here in Washington, as well as the widespread belief that he is the best man for this difficult job. For many, it seems like history repeating itself. During his handling of America's war in Iraq, David Petraeus showed consummate political skills as well as undoubted military prowess. Whatever his private views on the way the war in Afghanistan is being run, he's most unlikely to repeat the mistake of his predecessor, Stanley McChrystal, and make them public.
Police in Cyprus say one of the 11 suspects accused by the United States of spying for Russia has gone missing after being bailed. The man, a Canadian named by police as Christopher Robert Metsos, was expected to sign in at a police station in the coastal town of Larnaca on Wednesday, but failed to show up. A police spokesman said a warrant was being prepared for his arrest. The president of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, has ordered the national football team to take a 2-year break from international competition. A presidential advisor said this was so Nigeria could reorganise its football after a dismal performance in the World Cup. Alex Capstick reports.
Nigeria has some of the most gifted players on the continent. It's why anything less than total success is deemed a failure. But failure is something the country's fanatical football fans should be used to by now. They haven't won a World Cup match since 1998. The high expectations stretch all the way to the government. And as it provides the National Football Federation with most of its funds, it's no surprise Nigeria's leaders have a certain amount of influence in the game. But FIFA's rules don't allow that. The country could be barred from competing in all international matches. It would include Nigerian national teams from senior to junior level and the club sides.
World News from the BBC. A military court in Iran has sentenced 2 men to death over the killing of 3 opposition detainees at a jail in Tehran last year. 11 policemen and a civilian had been on trial since March in connection with the killings, which followed the controversial presidential election that returned President Ahmadinejad to power. The others on trial received sentences including jail terms and lashes. The son of a founding member of the Palestinian militant group Hamas, who spied for Israel, has been granted asylum in the United States. A judge in California said Musab Hassan Youssef would be allowed to stay once he passed a routine background check. Mr. Youssef said earlier this year he'd become disillusioned with Hamas after witnessing the brutality in their prisons. The Swiss tennis star Roger Federer, who's won Wimbledon 6 times, has been knocked out of this year's championship. He lost his quarter-final singles match in 4 sets to the number 12 seed Tomáš Berdych of the Czech Republic. Ollie Foster reports.